Hello everyone, today we are here with Charles Savage, the CEO of Purple Group, and most of you know Purple Group through EasyEquities, and today we're going to have a fun and exciting chat. We'll just quickly run through this year's results, then we'll look at what the future entails for Purple Group and all the exciting things EasyEquities is working on. So stay tuned till the end. Charles, thank you for joining us. We are honored. So for those who don't know Purple Group that well, they've got the brands like EasyEquities, Easy Properties, Easy Crypto, GT247.com, Emperor Asset Managers, and Rise. So they've got quite a few brands, and obviously we've seen amazing growth. So just to run through this year's Purple Group results, so that is the results. The revenues increased by 26% to 205 million rand. And also the EasyEquities, which is the exciting thing we are mostly all part of, the revenues increased by 79%. So you've had an amazing year, Charles. So if you can just run through this year and what are some of the trends that you've been seeing and that you are obviously proud of?
Yeah, look, firstly, thanks for having us on or having me on, and it's always lucky to catch up with you. So, we've had two really good years in a row. I think, the momentum really started in COVID. And pre-COVID, you would have seen, the numbers were starting to get stronger and stronger. But we've capitalized on the momentum that was sort of laid down 18 months ago. And I think, for a lot of people, the fear would have been that COVID was a once-off momentum shift and that it didn't follow through into the next year's financials. And I think, this year's financials really show that momentum followed through and that the growth continues. We're still signing up 60,000 customers a month. Our conversion rates are strong. I think, for us, kind of the highlights of the results was, for me, first and foremost, is how many retail shareholders own Purple Group now. I think 50,000 retail shareholders are a part of the story. And if you go back 2 years, anyone who's bought the share in the last 2 years is up. So that's pretty cool. And then, looking at the financials a bit closer, EasyEquities, obviously the standout performer. At GT247, disappointing set of results. But if you look back over kind of 7 years, it typically has one bad year in 7, and specifically it has poor years where there's quite strong trending markets and not a high level of volatility. So, we've had quite a lot of markets have been going up for a long time now, and, that's doesn't present much opportunity for GT. And then Emperor Asset Management still, obviously it's a small business, but closely aligned with Easy. And as Easy grows, you can rest assured that Emperor will grow alongside it. Easy Properties had a great year. If you think, that business is only just over a year old, over, I think 39,000 customers, over 100 million in assets in its first year. If you look at it today, well over 50,000 customers already, approaching 200 million in assets, and got a run rate of about 30 million rand a month in new assets. And I think that business is going to be a highlight in the years going forward. It's going to start to show up in the income statement a bit more. Rise is, for me, kind of the sleeping giant in the group. Rise was one of the only businesses, it was the only business in the group that suffered under COVID conditions. Pension fund administration is even though the platform is digital, the sales process is very physical. So, so you've got to go and meet trustees and meet companies and boards and people. And obviously that didn't happen in COVID. And there was very little opportunity for us to grow the business in COVID. So we sort of pivoted and built the tech stack out further differentiated the platform capability and offering. We also added new team members to strengthen the team and capability of that team. So as soon as COVID clears, I think Rise has got the potential to go back to the market and sell aggressively and bring assets on rapidly. So just all round a really good set of results led by Easy, but the opportunity for the other group companies to perform in the years ahead. They've set good foundations, and I think all of them will start to contribute more meaningfully in the years ahead.
Yeah, very interesting. I think the main point there is, Purple Group is much more than just EasyEquities and going on community. EasyEquities and guarding the Purple Group. I'm not complaining. I was in a Purple Group way back when it was 34 cents early last year and just continued buying. So I must say thank you to you. But then to the next exciting point, and that is the future for Purple Group as a group and everything that you are working on. So I think, the first question I have for that is, how difficult would it be to expand into global areas? So not just South Africa or Australia where you are currently. So we know you've got plans for Africa and Europe, but how difficult with regulations and all of that will it be on a practical level to scale into several countries with the different product offerings that you have?
Yeah, good question. It's not easy. And, I think we've learned a lot around Australia, in the sense that it took us a long time to get to Australia. We were kind of 18 months, took us 18 months longer than we would have liked. And I think, we think that from a regulatory perspective, COVID conditions also don't help, in the sense that regulators aren't exactly digital first kind of businesses. So, it's made it difficult in COVID. So to the extent that COVID continues, it's going to be difficult for us to get licensed in the timeframes that we want to. But beyond being regulated, the rest is relatively easy, in the sense that, it's like setting up any business. You've got to hire a team, you've got to find partners, you've got to build a brand, and those kind of things are, and they're not cookie cutter approaches, because not everyone looks the same as South Africans, but we've learned a lot through our South African business. And remember, we do service global customers already. It's not like we don't have Americans or Australians or Europeans on the platform already. So we've learned a little bit about it. The key is to get regulated in a timeliest fashion, get an entity on the ground, hire a team. I think that's the other thing we really have learned out of Australia is, we sent Brad Kaplan across with a plan to go and hire a team. He arrived on 15th of March 2019 and has been locked down since then. So we've been unable to hire a team in Australia. We're just a one-man show. And you can't build a business, one guy sitting in an office, or in this case, actually sitting at home for 18 months. So it's not easy, but having said that, it's something that we can easily do. We've got lots of experience with regulators. We've got a great legal and compliance team, and we've got all of the capabilities to do it. Really, it's just how long it takes us to get onto the ground. That's the unknown. I don't know how long it's going to take for the regulators to accept our applications, process them, etc. It's just they're under strain given the COVID conditions that they're operating in.
Yeah. So just on that, which countries would you look to go into next? For those who haven't heard about the African or European plans, if you
cool. Yeah.
Just quickly, man.
Africa is obviously, we're passionate about leading the charge in Africa, not just South Africa. So East Africa will be our first entry point outside of Southern Africa. And there we're starting in Kenya, and that business, we really want to get that up and running in the first quarter of next year. There really aren't any excuses for us to do that other than just getting licensed. So hopefully we get licensed and up and running there. And then we will immediately start to expand into the rest of East Africa from Kenya. For us, it's the friendliest zone in Africa in terms of regulation, things like exchange control, market access, the fact that money moves freely, there's a healthy fintech ecosystem, there's a whole lot of things that make it a really exciting opportunity for us. And once we've sort of penetrated and been successful in East Africa, then we'll think about where else in Africa. North Africa is probably too far from us for now, but potentially West Africa after we've done East Africa, and then we'll think about other opportunities in Africa. I think the important thing for our Africa strategy and for shareholders to understand is that for us, Africa is a 10-year play. It's not a go into the market and you'll create a business tomorrow. If you think about what we did in South Africa, it's taken us 7 years, and it's not going to be any faster in other African markets. So for us, it's a kind of more long-term playbook. It's something that 10 years from now, you're going to see it on the income statement and go, where did that come from? And it's going to be because we laid down the foundations and built a good, solid business slowly in those markets. So very excited about Africa, but it's cautious. The shareholders don't expect it to show up on the income statement in the next 5 years. Then Asia is exciting for us. I mean, one of the things I think people misunderstood is that our strategy for Australia was to create a beachhead in the Asian time zone, because it's a very unfriendly time zone to service out of South Africa. You can't You can't run a 24-hour business out of Joburg and expect your staff to be up and running, 24 hours a day. So Australia closed the time zone gap for us so that we now can run a business 24 hours a day. And it gives us the opportunity to go and partner and enter markets in Asia. The market we've chosen for next year is Philippines. So we've done a lot of work and spent a lot of time and effort understanding the market setup. It's fascinating. I mean, it's kind of 120 million people. So, firstly, it's double the size of South Africa, but economically, it's about 4 times the size of South Africa in terms of the opportunity set. It's a young digital native market that speaks English. And the other thing is that there are almost no competitors. So the competitive landscape is very low. But having said that, the first level, what I call the first layer of fintechs, has started to scale rapidly. So the payments guys, who are always the first to scale in a market, they've scaled radically in COVID. I think the largest one which is GCash. They talk about 1 in 3 Filipinos has got a GCash account. So they've got something like 20 million active customers and 40 million registrations. So for us, it's a good time to go to that market. It's 4 levels up from South Africa, and I think it's a market that we can create impact in very fast. So it's something that if we're on the ground in the next 12 months and have a business up and running, then I think it's something that will show up on our income statement within 2 to 3 years, and will accelerate faster than South Africa, just because it's 4 times bigger. The opportunity set is bigger, and the competitive landscape is lazier, is maybe the right word. So very excited about Philippines and what we can achieve there. And then Europe, for us, the focus is Eastern Europe. So Western Europe is dominated by some of the biggest fintechs in the world. Lots of billion-dollar unicorns or billion-pound-euro unicorns that some of them do similar things to what we do. And for us, we prefer to go to places where there are less competitive forces. And Eastern Europe seems neglected in the sense that there are lots of smaller markets, but when you pull those smaller markets together, they're a very large market opportunity, and there's less competition. And so we're going to go in through Lithuania, get licensed out of Lithuania, and then target Eastern Europe for starters, places like Poland. And also excited about that. The regulatory process will take some time. We probably, if we get everything right, we'll be up and running in Europe towards this time next year. So we probably won't have any business in this next set of financials, but next year's set of financials will be there. And then if you think about the group, we've got a beachhead in Asia, beachhead in Eastern Europe, beachhead in Africa. What's missing? And I think that the time will be to turn our attention to South America. It's a market where there's been significant success in scaling digital businesses. We don't understand it well, so I'm going to spend some time this year, hopefully, traveling and going to understand what the market looks like and the opportunity, and seeing if there are partners in the region that we can convince that we can partner, like Capitec and Discovery like we have here. And that'll be the next kind of entry point for us. And then when you look at us, we've got a sort of kind of a beachhead everywhere we need to around the world. And then it's really about, accelerating the business development in those regions. And so the global expansion plans are exciting. And I think as South Africans, we've got kind of a brand of not being good at doing business internationally, because a few of our businesses have failed when going international. I want to set the record straight. I think South Africans are excellent at doing business internationally, and we're just not telling the success stories of those that have done it well. And there are lots of good businesses that have gone abroad and done very well. We're not arrogant in thinking that just because we're successful here, we're going to be successful elsewhere. We're not. We're going to have to learn. We're going to have to adapt. We're going to have to challenge, change. But fundamentally, I think the world is a much smaller place than it used to be because of COVID and the way that we, communicate and engage and collaborate, and that benefits us. It allows us to be in, 5 continents but live in 1. So I am really excited about our global business and what it will produce over the next, 3 to 10 years.
Wow, very exciting. So a lot of long-term plans and global expansion. That's awesome to hear. So regarding the product offerings, we've seen various polls and feedback that you guys are getting from your users and also other webinars. So just take us a bit through, you know, what can an EasyEquities user or a Purple Group user from the other products expect in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, I don't go so far as
Well,
5 to 10 years. Let's talk about the next 3 years. So,
perfect.
you know, and I'm going to start with next year because there's some really exciting product updates and launches. And I'm going to start with probably the one that the community are going to probably the most excited about, which is Easy Crypto. So as you know, we've exercised that option. We now own 51% of Easy Crypto. And so our team are going to drive the strategy alongside the Easy Crypto team that we've inherited. So we've done that piece of work. And in fact, we've been developing redeveloping the platform and upgrading it to be more like EasyEquities and integrating it into the EasyEquities platform stack so that you can access it like you do with Easy Properties directly off the platform. The first version of that will go live in late January, early February, and that'll really just be a revised user experience. In March, we will launch more coins, so access to direct coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all of the top 10 coins. And then the addition of more indices, more like tokens, like we have with EC10. So we've EC10 is a market cap weighted. We're going to do an equal weights one. We're going to do an alt index. We're also going to do a lending index, so where you place your coins and the coins that are placed in that index are then lent out, and you earn a yield on the coin. So lots of exciting product updates and platform updates that'll come in the first quarter of next year. Then outside of that, we've got, I think the ones that I'm excited about, and I think the users have expressed their excitement. Easy Lending will go live next year. So that's 3 products in one. The first is just, lending out your own stock, which customers will be able to turn on and off, which, earn them a yield on their assets, which is not huge amounts of money. But if you look at what the average customer is paying, about 40-50 basis points a year in terms of brokerage fees on the platform, and if by turning on lending, essentially the platform becomes almost free. So quite a nice way to ensure that you have no costs associated with your account. The second product is margin lending. So if for every 1,000 Rand you've got invested on the platform, we'll give you access to a maximum of another 300 Rand to invest in additional stocks. So that's exciting for users, so they can slightly leverage up their portfolio responsibly and buy more stocks with that leverage, but very responsible leverage, not 10 to 1, not 3 to 1, just extra 30%. And then the third product in that stack is term loans. So you'll be able to take out a loan, the security for which will be your portfolio, and then pay that loan back over a fixed period that you determine, 12 months, 18 months, 48 months, whatever it is. And again, because we've got the security of your assets, those are going to be very low cost loans in comparison to where people are lending money in credit markets and unsecured markets. So for us, it's an opportunity to ensure that our customers don't end up with unsecured debt at a very expensive rate, rather have secured debt and use your portfolio as that security. So really excited about that product. I think it's going to have a big impact. And then personally, the one that I'm most excited about, and probably one that will appeal to you, Higgo, is we're going to launch Easy Ventures. So think Easy Properties, but this time for venture capital. We're hoping to sign our partners up now before I go away, and I go away next week, so a week from today. And we probably won't announce it, but we are hoping to sign it. And I'll just say this, we're looking to partner the best venture capital firms in this country to create a platform that brings us all together, that allows retail access to the best venture capital investment opportunities in South Africa, and curated and accessed in the same way as we do with Easy Properties. Personally, this for me could be a game changer for small startup companies, for entrepreneurs, for people like yourself, to be able to access capital in a fair, democratized way, but that not only gives you the access to capital, but also access to customers. So you can think about the effect of, if you get 30,000 shareholders, the potential to convert those to customers is enormous. And if you can create that effect, then you get the same effect that Purple Group has had. You know, customers that fall in love with you, that become shareholders, that bring you more customers. So those three you can hold me accountable to. Those will definitely go live next year. Then others that have got a chance of going live next year, EasyFX. So currently, you know, we've got FX services on the platform, but we rely on on partner banking rails. So we're not a licensed FX broker, but we're getting our own licenses. The minute we've got those will allow us to reduce some of the friction, specifically around time and price, the spread on FX. So we'll be in control of that. And that'll mean that money will move faster and cheaper all around the world. So that's hopefully going to go live second half of next year, but it really relies on a license. We'll be adding Europe and UK shares. There's hopefully a Christmas surprise with UK shares going live in December, but yeah, I'm not certain yet. It's already December, or almost December, and we haven't quite got there. But we were hoping to surprise our customers with some UK shares, and then lots of other little things that we're doing. But I think those are the highlights for the next year. Beyond the next year, there are lots of other products that we're thinking about. We're thinking about a savings product where we create a destination for short, medium, and long-term savings that takes on the fixed deposit market and creates a richer user experience in the savings place. There's the rebranding and consolidation of Emperor Asset Management into Easy Asset Management and Easy Retire, with a focus delivery there. We're looking at Easy Insure, launching a life insurance product under our brand that speaks to our platform capabilities and the demographics of our customer base. And if you take all of those products, that's kind of a 3-year runway of all of the things that we'll be doing. 30 to 40% of them this year, and then 20% per year after that. As I said to my team, we're led by what our customers want from us. So all of these product ideas came from you, our customers. The key for us is to stay tuned to what their needs and desires are, and every year we'll check in to see if there's something new that emerges, and if there is, then we'll add it to our plans. But for now, we've got 10 new products and services that we'll be launching over the next 3 years, and 3 or 4 in the next 12 months.
That is extremely exciting. Looking forward to all those various products. Can already get some thoughts in my mind of how I can potentially see how I can grow my portfolio through some of those various products that you will be launching. So it's very exciting from a user perspective as well as a shareholder in Purple Group. So thank you for all that information. Really looking forward, and thanks for your time, Charles. For those watching, thanks for staying till the end. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel, and if you found value from this, please consider liking. Have a great day. Thank you, and cheers.
Cheers, Higgo. Thanks very much, man.